All right, so tonight we got AHSOKA episode 3. Very excited about this one. I really liked the first two episodes. I thought they were great. I have a few problems with them. Like, I'm not really a big fan of another Star Wars character getting stabbed in the gut by a lightsaber and surviving. I just think Disney is kind of demeaning the lightsaber in a sense. I mean, because look what happened with Qui-Gon. I know he didn't have immediate medical attention. I know, such a good argument. But at the same time, Shin stabbed her right in the side and had the lightsaber in her for, hold on a minute, you know what I mean, it was in her side for a while, and it should have burned her insides if anything. So she shouldn't be as okay as she is now, and it certainly shouldn't have taken her just a couple of hours or overnight to heal from that. It really doesn't make any sense. And the pacing as well, I did think the pacing was okay whenever I first watched it, but upon rewatch it is kind of slow in places, and there are a lot of moments where characters are just, so what'd you do today? Like, there's a lot of long pauses in the conversations between two characters that it kind of felt a little bit weird. But other than that, I really have no complaints. I really like the setup that we have for these first two episodes going into this third episode. I think the rest of this series is really going to start picking things up, and I think it's going to kick off rather quick. I don't think there's going to be a lot of filler. I don't think we're going to make some pit stops on the way to the planet where Morgan Elsbeth and Balin are. I think we're going to go right there, and I think there's going to be some conflict. I really don't know what's going to happen in the later half of the series. Based upon some of the leaks that I've heard about, things are going to get pretty crazy pretty fast. I'm gonna leave it there. So I'm super excited for this episode, but before we get started, I just want to say, if you are new to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button, like button, turning on post notifications. Whatever you guys want to do to support the channel, I would greatly appreciate it. And if you're interested in seeing full-length versions of this reaction or any other reaction that I have up on the channel, as well as early access to said reactions, you'll find them right here on YouTube on my membership page. So if you guys can check those out as well, I would greatly appreciate it. So without further ado, I'm super excited. So let's go.
Welcome to the control center. From here we keep track of the entire inventory being created from the dismantled Imperial fleet.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot more of that. You know, people within the Empire, or at least were within the Empire, kind of taking over slots that needed fulfilled after the New Republic took over.
Anakin never got to finish my training. I walked away from him, just like I walked away from Sabine.
The mere mention of Anakin in the recap has my attention. I'm not going to give my hopes up, but it's a possibility. It's like Grievous.
Well,
Not bad, but not good.
So mid.
Yang, let's try something else. How about Zatoichi?
Oh no. I'm not certain Lady Ren is ready for that technique.
Is this the first time we're touching on like lightsaber techniques in canon? Or at least in movies and TV shows, should I say?
well, I discovered that according to Hu Yang, I'm the worst candidate to be a Jedi out of every Jedi he's ever known.
You told her that?
He did say that. Were those all like fake lightsabers in there, or were there some real ones in there?
Put this on.
But with the blast shield down, how can I see? How am I supposed to fight?
I can't see. How am I supposed to fight?
I want you to see with more than just your eyes. Feel my presence. Take in all that is around you.
Wow, this is more training than Rey had in the entire sequel trilogy. That was pretty cool, though. They fly now? They fly now. This CG looks great.
The Chancellor?
She's waiting. There are several senators with her. One of them is Ziono.
Chancellor Mothma. Senators.
Hera.
So she's the Chancellor now.
But if we could just hear the General's report, we're late as it is.
Quite right, Senator Ziono.
He's the one kid. See, I can't even remember. That's how much I really didn't like Resistance, but he's related to the one kid from Resistance, right? Like, I'm trying so hard to remember his name right now.
Yes, but I believe their activity speaks to a larger operation.
It always does.
Involving Thrawn. I have reason to believe he is alive. And that his allies are working on a way to find him. If I could get approval to send a task force to the Denab system, I could find out.
Isn't this just another attempt to gain New Republic resources to aid in what has ultimately been your personal quest to find Ezra Bridger?
It's a valid argument, but if Thrawn is out there, which he is, but from his perspective, it really does make sense.
The Imperial fleet is scattered and broken. They have no centralized command.
Unless Thrawn returns.
Make your point.
Thrawn is not your typical Imperial officer.
No, he is not.
Allow me a moment to speak with my colleagues.
That went well.
Hey, Mom! Mom!
Crazy. Still got the green hair.
I want to be a Jedi.
Yeah, I know you do, Jason.
And I think you will.
I was hoping that the urgency of our situation could expedite my training a bit.
I'm afraid it doesn't work like that.
Yeah, you really can't rush that.
I can't use the Force.
No shit.
Force resides in all living things, even you. But training and focus are what truly defines someone's success.
I'm going to give this my best.
I mean, I believe that she is. I don't know how force sensitive she could be. Like, I really don't. She's getting too frustrated.
Sabine, I've got Hera.
You win this round. Unfortunately, I won't be joining you for this one. And neither will the fleet. The Senate committee wouldn't approve the mission. I'm sorry, Sabine. But it's not up to me. I don't follow the order.
Liu Yang, what's happened?
We've entered the Denab system. All comm transmissions are being jammed.
Drop from hyperspace. Let's see what Morgan's been hiding out here.
I love that we wasted no episodes getting here.
Why'd we drop out of hyperspace so far from the planet?
Standard Jedi mission protocol when approaching an unknown situation. In order to avoid enemy surveillance.
Still doing this?
Programming.
He's always gonna do it. What kind of ships are those? Kind of look like the droid ships from Revenge of the Sith. She's got the Jedi comlink.
Liu Yang, anything yet?
On the object, no. However, I have several thoughts on everything else going on.
Not now.
CG's pretty good. I mean, I already said that about the space stuff earlier, but like throughout, really, it's all great. Great, kid. Don't get cocky. Nice.
Prepare turbo lasers.
Droids are pretty cool.
Rock.
Form up on my wing and wait for my signal.
That was the first time we heard him talk. And Sam Witwer was in the credits. Just saying.
I would never have guessed
Get
that.
everything you need?
Not yet. See if you can get a little closer.
Are you crosswired?
Closer, please.
He's asking nicely. The way that ship rolls is so cool.
Scan complete.
Huh.
Liu Yang! Yang's down.
Oh no.
We got incoming.
Work fast. I'm going out there.
Out there? Out
Out
where?
where? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What? No way. That was sweet. So cool.
Did you fix the ship yet? I got it! Great. Now get me.
I mean, if she was Leia Poppins, she'd be flying through space right now.
Go, go, go!
I'm really glad they didn't do that again.
Another ship?
No.
What? What is it?
Purgil. Lots of Purgil. This is so cool. They lost him.
And complete. Oh, took my battery back up a while to cycle, I suppose.
I really like the look of this planet, like all the red trees. Did they see them?
Any sign of them? Nothing. They must be hiding in the forest.
Haven't seen those creatures since the day Ezra disappeared.
The good news is the enemy vessel is still under construction and not yet complete. There are 6 hyperdrive engines in place, with the final one being set into position.
So it is a hyperspace ring.
Yes. The Jedi archives speak of intergalactic hyperspace lanes between galaxies, which used to follow the migration paths of star whales named Purgle.
Like the ones we just saw.
Really? When?
The Jedi have taken refuge in the forest. Hunt them down.
Please stop.
No, dude. Oh! Yeah, that was a really short episode. Like, with intro and credits at the end, it's probably like 29 minutes. Like, that's, dude, it's way too short. Way too short. Like, I feel like this is one of those cases where the 6-episode formula would have worked better, but they gotta get their streaming numbers in and their streaming hours, so why not make it 8? I was gonna say the pacing of this one felt a lot quicker, but it has to all do with, you know, the runtime of this episode. So I feel like that's not a very fair argument, but I really like this episode. And out of the 3 so far, it's probably my favorite. I mean, we pretty much had an action sequence for the last 20-ish minutes of this episode, so that was really nice to see, and that definitely helped with the pacing. But getting to see Sabine train longer than Rey ever did in the sequel trilogy was nice, and I think it's going to be an added bonus whenever we do see those powers get put to use. But pertaining to those powers, I really don't know what kind of power she's going to have. Obviously, she was trying to move the cup with the Force, but I don't think that she's gonna have any Force powers of any sort. If so, they're not going to be anything compared to any other Jedi that we've seen. So I feel like with Sabine's prior knowledge of fighting and everything that she's been through throughout the series so far, and Rebels obviously, I feel like that alone is enough for her to pick up a lightsaber and be able to defeat pretty much anybody who isn't a Sith or a dark side user. I mean, going up against Shin, who is most likely a former Jedi just based upon the look and the Padawan braid and the comm link that she had on the ship, she's most likely a former Jedi, and I think we've kind of established that with the lightsabers that we saw Hu Yang deciphering in the first episode, I think it was. So Sabine going up against somebody like that really doesn't count, because I don't think she has really any Force powers at all, and if she does, they're not very good. So I feel like against anybody else, she'd be completely fine and be able to handle herself. Getting to see Mon Mothma again was pretty nice. That now that she's Chancellor, I don't think I knew that. I feel like I didn't know that. It could have been established in the books. I feel like it was, but I was just forgetting. Getting to see her was cool, and then we get to finally see Jason, who I don't know how much of a role he's going to have in this series. I really don't expect it to be that big. I feel like the series is going to end with him being trained in the ways of the Jedi. I don't know by who. Maybe if they make it back with Ezra. Actually, I really don't think this series is going to have a happy ending. I think it's going to end with Thrawn winning, and I think that's going to further set up the movie that Dave has coming down the pipeline. But I definitely feel like within the next couple of seasons of whatever shows we get setting up that movie, I feel like Jason could be a significant part to that, and I feel like he should. But this aerial and space action sequence that we got was really, really good. The CG looked phenomenal. Getting to see Ahsoka flip back and forth in space was really cool. I'm glad they didn't do the Leia Poppins thing. I feel like that was kind of a jab at that. I don't want to say a jab, but they kind of did a commentary on that in a way, because she wasn't able to pull herself back, and then we see Leia doing it, but seeing her in that spacesuit was pretty cool, and then seeing her do the flip and cut the one wing off the one ship was really cool to see. And I think the last time we saw those kind of spacesuits was in Clone Wars Season 2 or 3? It was one of the earlier seasons of Clone Wars. I think we also saw them in Rebels, right? I could be wrong, but I feel like I'm remembering Ezra being on the outside of a ship with a helmet on. But overall, I'm really loving that this season is wasting no time getting to the point of things. I mean, there's no filler, there was no pit stop. I mean, I guess some fans are going to argue that some of these moments are filler because they don't find it interesting, but there really hasn't been any true filler yet. I mean, everything has been relayed from the plot. Everything is very plot driven, story driven, character driven, which is really, really impressive considering the track record that Disney Star Wars has. So I feel like no moments have been wasted so far. And in a 30-minute episode or 29-minute episode, we got a lot done. I mean, we got to the planet, we established that the Purrgil are kind of outlooking this planet. We most likely already knew, at least I knew what the villain's plan was to use that hyperspace ring to jump to the other galaxy, but our characters learned that. And then we have at the end of this episode, Balin sending all of his soldiers out to scout the forest. And I am assuming next episode, Merrick is going to fight AHSOKA based off of the trailers, and Shin is going to fight Sabine. So I feel like we're really wasting no time here. And then after next episode, I don't think we've seen any trailer footage going forward. I feel like we've seen 90% of it up until this point, and the last 10% are going to be next episode, which has me excited for the later half of this season. And we do see similar things with The Mandalorian, especially the first 2 seasons. We saw... Bug. Got him. But with the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian, we kind of in the trailers saw the first 4 episodes, and that was it whenever it comes to footage shown. And then the rest of the season, especially season 2, now that I'm thinking back to it, we didn't see any footage from the Boba Fett episode all the way up until the end. Actually, the Ahsoka episode all the way up until the Luke Skywalker episode, which makes me think we're probably going to get a Thrawn reveal either in next episode or the episode after that, because we only have 1 shot of Thrawn from the trailers, and it's most likely, it looked like it took place, actually we have 2 shots of Thrawn in the trailers, the one from behind where it looked like he was on Morgan's ship, and then we had the one where it was like the full face reveal, where I don't know where he was at in that scene, but I guess we'll have to see. And then obviously everything with Ezra. I think Ezra's going to come back in a very prominent way once we get to the new galaxy. And I think that's going to further set up everything for Dave's movie, which I'm super excited about. As I said, the setup for all of this and the potential storylines that we could go on once we get into the new galaxy. I know some people were already talking about them retconning the sequel trilogy, which, hey, I wouldn't mind, but taking us to a new galaxy and giving us a new world to play in, a new sandbox, if you will, the possibilities are just endless. And I would love to see a bunch of EU stuff incorporated into this new canon. Like, it was already established a little bit in Andor, but the Rakata Empire, I think that would be so cool. There's just so many things, so many cool things that they could do with the rest of this show and moving forward with all of the things that they're introducing in it. So I really like this episode. I thought it was fantastic, and the doors are wide open at this point. They can do whatever they want, so I'm excited to see what comes next. So hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you guys did, please consider hitting that subscribe button, like button, turning on post notifications. Whatever you guys want to do to support the channel, I would greatly appreciate it. And if you're interested in seeing full-length versions of this reaction or any other reaction that I have up on the channel, as well as early access to said reactions, you'll find them right here on YouTube on my membership page. So if you guys can check those out as well, I would greatly appreciate it. So hopefully you guys did enjoy, and I will see you all in the next one.